The chairman of the League of Airport and Aviation Correspondent, LAAC, Suleiman Idris, has stated that they are looking at the risk, opportunity, and prospects in Nigerian aviation sector, as well as identify and look into the gaps that needs to be covered, also with opportunities that are inherent. He then called upon policymakers and government to make sure that all efforts are put in place for the growth of the industry to our country.
We have ensured that the challenges are highlighted, the prospects are also outlined, as well as the opportunities are also highlighted for stakeholders, for investors, both within and outside the country, to come and take advantage and to invest in our aviation sector.
He made this statement at the just concluded event of the League of Airport and Aviation Correspondent Conference, which took place in Lagos last week. He also went further to commend the government on how they have made bold efforts in embarking on the remodeling of the airport infrastructure, as well as safety and consumer protection.
We have been able to highlight some of the key challenges, and I can tell you these key challenges are being attended to. Just like I said, the bold step to remodel and to rehabilitate the Murtala Mohammed International Airport is one of the key things that we have been outlining for quite a number of years now. And I can tell you, within the next 5 years, we are going to see brand new airports in the country by the effort of the fund and the ministers. What they are doing so far, we can assure that in the next 5 years, passengers figures are going to quadruple. Aviation, the terminals are really going to be remodeled, and we may likely have some brand new terminals. The federal government is saying now that the International Murtala Mohammed Airport will be done in 22 months. That is to say, less than 5 years, and I can bet you we'll be having world-class facilities. Airlines are going to be having brand new planes in the next few months in the country. That is to say that everything that we've been doing as an association, as the watchdog of the industry, government is listening and solutions is being provided.
Furthermore, he stated that this is a call to all stakeholders, beginning from top, irrespective of the government and the agencies in the sector, to ensure that they carry out standardized regulations, equipment, and various other things to ensure that our aviation industry competes favorably with the best in the world.
We must realize that aviation, one, is the engine growth of any economy. So whatever it takes government to do to position our aviation sector to attract both local and foreign direct investment in the sector and in other key sectors of the economy must be embarked upon. The government has felt that remodeling the airport will do that, and I believe and I'm sure that that will also ensure that other key economic indices also improve and other sectors also are developed.
One of the leading experts on investment matters, Mr. Bismarck Rewain, also spoke extensively on the topic, unlocking investment opportunities in Nigeria's aviation sector, the role of financial sectors, during his lectures.
First and foremost, stop doing dumb things. 2, start doing smart things. Then finally, start doing modern things. So, let's conclude this now. Since 1, the Nigerian aviation sector is in need of consolidation, no doubt about that. The need for a competitive hub system, preferably in Lagos and Abuja, very strong and effective regulation for safety, concessions and PPPs should be prioritized. You don't need to spend on airport if you have concession to do. Don't fix it. Let the new owner fix it. Right? Like spend billions trying to fix the refineries. You could have developed also have sold it to finance to Dangote. Right? So, invest in local maintenance repair of our hubs. We need it. We need simulators. It takes about almost $25,000 to send a captain for simulator training for 3 weeks. Right? So we either send them to Addis Ababa or Johannesburg or Amsterdam. Thank you very much.
According to the team, Financing Aviation in Nigeria, several panelists were at the conference to also express their views, and among them is the CEO of Air Peace, Alan Onyema, who spoke extensively on the measures to be taken to alleviate situation of poor funding in the aviation sector.
When you talk about funding, this is a very capital-intensive industry. Whether you're operating like CEDA, or operating as running the administration of an airport, or you're involved in scheduled airline operations, is a very capital-intensive industry. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, funding has become our albatross. So it's not easy to come through or come back. Out there. That is why sometimes when people start comparing Nigerian airlines and the airlines of the first world, I call them the first world, it becomes very unfair to what we represent. I feel that Nigerian airlines should be given their place of respect, because the selfless thing they are doing is, as Correspondent aviation, is addictive. You run down your other businesses to make sure your airline survives without any help from anywhere. Out there in America, the Europe, and other clients, they borrow money with about 3 to 5%, at most 5%. Over here, the funding becomes very expensive, 35%.
Most of other panelists also threw their weight on the issue of discourse, thereby providing their own quota to the solution of the problem. The event had in attendance several stakeholders and dignitaries in the aviation industry. The event won't be complete without further explanations from a stakeholder who threw more light on the recent saga between Juju musician, Kwamwan, and Value Jet pilot.
Another question we want to ask ourselves as Nigerians is, will this passenger have disobeyed this law, say at Heathrow Airport in the UK, or anywhere else outside of Nigeria for that matter? Well, moving on from the passenger, the pilot also knows that there are rules, especially when there are persons on the tarmac. There are videos circulating which are also in the possession of the authority. The question, when you watch those videos, if the engines of that plane was not positioned where they were, what would have happened to the passengers and the other airport staff who were on ground? Has the pilot acted in the best possible manner, given her training? Well, my DG, Captain Chris Najomo, has spoken with the relevant directors, the CAA, and came to the conclusion that immediate action must be taken. And so the licenses of this pilot, the pilot and the co-pilot, have been suspended pending the outcome of investigations. What I must assure the general flying public is that everybody involved in this will be brought to book. As we speak, the passenger is going to be blacklisted for the next 6 months flying in Nigeria. Aviation rules are made for everybody, for the protection of everybody. There's nothing about the rules, and these rules are global. There's nothing about the rules that is to antagonize any passenger. So even for the passenger's own sake, if you watch those videos, does it speak well of the passenger or the pilot? So we will do everything we can to get to the root of it. Everybody who needs to be punished or sanctioned will receive justice.
So this brings to the issue that why you can regulate the airlines in terms of customer protection, what they should do for the passengers. It is very difficult to now weigh in the unruly attitude of passengers. Beyond this case now,
the NCAA is writing the Attorney General of the Federation and the Inspector General of Police as we speak to take up a court case against the passenger in this case.
Okay, now, sir, many people might not want to believe that this particular passenger are blacklisting him because he's close to the presidency, like he said during that incident. Is it really possible to blacklist this person?
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if you know him very well, is a respecter of the law. And so is the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Keyamo. Both of them submit themselves to every security check at every airport, everywhere in the world. No other Nigerian is above the law. The law that the president himself obeys, no Nigerian is above the law.
We've seen the NCA holding meetings with stakeholders, especially operators online. But I haven't seen all this engagement. These free for all in the airports keep coming up. What are you doing to forestall it? Because it's quite becoming very embarrassing to this nation.
When you say free for all, what do you mean?
Airline operators and passengers fighting in the airport. The other day we saw a senator in the airport, and all those matters just went down the drain. We're not seeing it here in the day. What are you doing to forestall all these things happening in this country?
People will break rules. It's not just in Nigeria. Laws exist for the fact that people will break rules. That's why the law and law enforcement exists. So when we have been carrying out massive awareness campaigns, we've been educating. It's why I'm very, very, very present on social media, because the awareness is a continuum. However, if it does happen, it is why there's infrastructure and institutions in place to deal with those kind of scenarios. FANAFSEC is there.